Hi, Ruslan. It's nice to see you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer my questions.
Absolutely, Tatyana. Always a pleasure, speaking with you.
Great. So let's start with tell me a little bit about your company and what kind of problems you help solve in a quality space.
Sure. So we started back in 2010. We're serving our customers for the last 15 years. We're a global quality assurance software testing company, specifically dedicated to quality assurance and software testing only. We serve many different clients around the world, probably over 450 clients in 28 different countries, supporting various of different industries, different platforms, different technologies. Our guys are spread across 12 different countries around the world, so we are proudly international organization. And in terms of the solving the problem, so one of the biggest problems we're trying to solve from the beginning is how to be providing very quick turnaround time on our services, right? Everybody wants speed, everybody wants turbocharger behind QA, but at the same time, nobody wants to pay, and everybody wants pretty economical and under budget QA services. And not only that, they also want superior quality along with that. So that's the challenge which we were trying to solve throughout all those years, how to become pretty quick and fast, not be a bottleneck. And, QA always, viewed as a sort of a bottleneck or slowing things down. Unfortunately, that's kind of what is flying around in the air. But also at the same time, how to achieve superior quality as well. That's been the ultimate goal for everybody when it comes to quality assurance and software testing. So those are the major problems which we're trying to solve.
That's amazing that you built such a global company supporting so many customers. And you're focusing on speed. So on a quick turnaround, basically for testing, regression testing for the products. And what sets your company apart when it comes to supporting the engineering organizations and creating teams on top of speed that you're offering?
Absolutely. So it's not only about the speed. It's really more about building the testing partnership, testing relationship with the customers and clients. That's our mission. That's our goal. Been from number one. We don't want to be viewed as a body shop. We never throw bodies or testers into the problems. We try to be more strategic. So any of our engagements which we start, it starts with the QA audit. And that's QA audit or sort of a mini QA audit, mini assessment you can view as you coming to the doctor office and the doctor tries, to do some kind of diagnostics, right? So he or she asks you for the blood test, some other types of examinations, and that's pretty much what we want to understand. We don't want to just try to see the problems, but we will try to understand the root causes behind those problems because that's what we're trying to solve. So it's not just the quality assurance and software testing. It's also comes with discipline, strategy, implementation, process improvements, smart metrics around software development lifecycle, human intelligence, which is critical nowadays, along with obviously some technological advancements in the forms of various of different tools and solutions, codeless automation, scripted automation tools, as well as, we are in an era of AI. So that's a new topic. And that's what we also, trying to stay, on top of all these advancements of what's going on in AI. So that's pretty much, what sets us apart from typical, body shopping or trying to, complete projects and then, the mission is accomplished. We all about, really leaving something behind, and something behind means implementing the best practices, the right processes, the right approaches, setting up methodologies, That's essentially what comes with the service as well.
That's amazing that you take ownership of the processes and you take and you treat it as your own basically kind of like project, right? So you're not just providing the resources and the buddies, but you're also re-envisioning how the company does quality or does engineering processes, right? So that's amazing. I don't see that a lot in the, quality consulting organizations or quality services organizations. That's amazing. So, talking about quality, what does quality mean to you and your organization and your team?
It's a great question. So quality to us means number one is the trust. Trust in front of our customers, right? That's what we should earn by providing and delivering quality software. Quality to us means satisfactions of our customers or users of that platform. Quality means success of the product out there. We want, the company who asking for our services to be successful in terms of revenue generation, in terms of the new clients, in terms of competition, where the similar types of products are competing with each other, but the product which we test, it will feel better for the users. Feels means it will be usable, it will be secure, it will perform better, it will have richer functionalities, it will have superior usability and not confusion. That's essentially to us as a quality. Quality is not defect-free applications, right? Because applications could be defect-free, but it's still missing the business needs. It's still missing features which are super important for users out there who are dealing with day-to-day, activities or challenges. So to us, this is the actual quality. But quality starts, with the trust.
Yeah, I like that you're talking about business success and the customer experience at the as the end goal of quality. So that's what I also believe is the end goal of us doing the quality activities, right? It's not about writing 100 test cases or having them all pass, right? So it's all about ends to kind of like what is the customer experience is having the customer empathy and making sure that business is actually succeeding with whatever qualities that it's has to provide to its users. So this is great. And I also want to ask you about the role of QA in the future. So how do you see the role of QA evolving in today world with all of the changes that are happening?
It's another great question, and it's a very tough question to answer because I see this from two lenses. I see, unfortunately, it's evolving in two different directions, basically. I see that in some cases, QA has been reduced to a checkbox, for instance, under DevOps, and it's treated as, just the automation routine. And this is all about, automation and, passing the scripts and get the green passes and the results for some of the decision makers. But in some other companies and some other organizations, they take a serious approach, towards quality. They basically, looking for strategic partner where, they kind of view the quality as a center of intelligence, right? So one part is, yes, we taking a deep, a serious approach towards quality. We wanted to invest in quality. We have this, goals and objectives at the corporate level relating to quality. But the other side is, let's try to, just put a check mark there. Let's try to be, as economical as possible, the cheaper, the better. And just for sake of the process, let's just have somebody put that check mark or stamp on the product and that's it. So there's, two sides. And unfortunately, after 27 years, I see that we're losing the game here, where now, at least in the last 3 years, what I noticed, talking to various of different decision makers and C-level executives, quality get the hit. Quality is no longer a priority due to the budget cuts and challenges. And unfortunately, people view quality maybe as a less priority or not a priority anymore. It's more nice to have rather than must to have.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've seen quality kind of up and down waves, right, in the last 20 years. But I'm still seeing that some companies realize like, oh, we need quality teams, and then they start building them. Like that is still happening.
It's still
Uh,
happening, but not as much as we would like to, or I would like to.
Right. But I like that you're talking about quality not being a checklist or a checkpoint, right? Uh, I'm observing a lot of organizations where they don't have a strong quality leadership and they just have QA engineers who do their thing. Okay, go test and go build the test automation, and then okay, that's done without looking at the overall process. And do we have a quality mindset? Do we have the quality processes? Right. And then they're missing out. They're missing out on the quality mindset. They're missing out on the processes that will help them deliver a successful business product. And so I'm happy that there are organizations and companies like yours who can come in and evaluate the quality processes and say, like, not just like, here's a tester for you to do your checklist, but here's the recommendation on the overall quality process and how to improve it. It's very important to talk about that. A lot of times that's what I have to do as a director of quality, to come in and say like, hey, we need to focus on the process, not necessarily on building more test cases, right?
Absolutely. You mentioned something very important. Again, the leadership, quality leadership is super important. And again, some companies don't view this very seriously. They think if they have, gurus there or very senior QA engineers, for instance, things will go pretty good. I always like to give an analogy, with the soccer. Back in the days, I wanted to become a soccer coach, but I become a QA coach. So to me, it's no different. It's pretty much the same. So I always say, if you will have in your team 11 Messis or Ronaldo, I hope everybody, in our audience knows those famous soccer players. It will not guarantee that they will win all the games and they will win, championships and beat in the European leagues and everything, because the vision, the strategy, the game plan coming from the coach is super important. So
Yeah.
without it, even if you have superstars, you might not win it. But with the right strategy in place, even if you're not going to have Messi's or Ronaldo's in your team, you still can win.
Yeah, that's
I
for
like to
sure.
give that sort of analogy.
I love the term quality coach, right? So we had a term quality champion some time back, and that's someone who kind of, evangelizes quality and quality processes. But quality coach is great because they help and they guide the teams to improve the quality processes. So I definitely like to use that, with even my teams, where I would say like, hey, we're quality coaches. We're not doing quality, but we're helping the organization to get better at
Implement
quality,
exactly and
right?
build the programs. And we used to have, not we, but the industry used to have chief quality officers positions. Where are those positions now? They disappeared.
Yeah, they disappeared.
If you go on Dice or any other job portal and you type chief quality officer, you will never find them. Back in the days, I remember, even 15 years ago, when before QA Mentor, I was searching for chief quality officer. And that's the reason I started QA Mentor, because I wanted to be a champion of the quality. I wanted to implement quality programs. I wanted to bring companies to the next level of maturity across the board. And there was a lot of those positions, chief quality officers, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and that's the reason why, I said, well, why do I need to, be at the one company when they can help multiple companies to achieve good results. And that's the reason I
Yeah.
started QA
Yeah.
Mentor with just one service, which was all about QA audit, process improvements, QA transformation services. That's essentially is chief quality officer to help out organizations to champion the quality, right?
Yeah.
And then it transforms to, something bigger. I didn't even
Yeah.
expect this to be
Yeah.
transformed. Naturally transformed because clients were asking for more and more and more services. And, we are here today with 32 services, not just one, which was QA audit process improvement service.
Yeah, yeah. Well, question for you. Do you find this hard when you come into the organization and start kind of like coaching and recommending them the processes that need to be changed? Do you find it hard for the organization to kind of accept the changes and actually implement them, or how does that work for you?
That's a fantastic question. I personally was involved in 123 QA audits and transformation exercises for our clients, from Fortune 500 companies to mid-sized organizations and startups. There is everywhere resistance for change. Nobody appreciates you. Nobody wants you there. It's like you going and you trying to dig in, the dirty laundry. Nobody wanted to open up and say, oh, we have these problems. Everybody tried to say, oh, we're great. Everything is great. I don't know what you hear Ruslan for. I mean, it's got to be some mistakes, right? Uh, it's pretty challenging, but you got to be very careful. It's it's a very difficult job, to be honest with you, because you have to be super diplomatic. Uh, you cannot scare people. You want to make people feel that they will enjoy those changes. They working 15 hours days on the weekends, putting so much, hard work and effort because of the broken processes. You trying to explain them that with the proper implementation, you will really enjoy your work. You're not going to come to work and scratch the head and say, oh my God, it's another 15-hour days, right? When they will get this mentally here, they will start opening up. They will start providing you information inside of the information which you're really looking for, because it's very difficult to get an idea. We have to put, and like investigators, we have to dig, we have to open up people. Sometimes they're not opening up. Sometimes it takes some time for them to open up. But believe it or not, I was lucky enough, I was able to open up people, to have
Yeah.
real conversations where they realize that we want to help them out, and we know how to help them out because we helped other organizations, similar, different types, but we actually did that transformations already. So we know how to do it, and everybody were in the same place as you are. So to me, that's transformation, where you actually see, look, this is where the organization were today, this is where you need to be, and then you monitor the progress, or maybe not the progress, maybe they stay at the same level, and then that's a bigger problem and challenge. So that's really fun, and that's why I enjoy the most, even though it's
Yeah.
very difficult and very tough and lots of stress. But when you see the change, when you see the results, and when you see happy faces where people see the results and transformation, which they're part of, I mean, this is the feeling which you cannot get anywhere, I can tell you.
Yeah, yeah. I can definitely relate. I agree. Transformations are hard. Influencing and changing people's mind and organization processes. It also depends on the culture of organization. Some of them are more resistant than others, right? It's not an easy task. So kind of kudos to you that you can do this successfully for so many companies. It's amazing.
For some, we did very well. For some, we did okay. I wish we could do better. But again, there is a lot of resistance. It all depends. That's why I personally need to involve with my team, with process consultants as well. But I need to be there. I
Yeah,
got to witness
yeah,
this. I got to see it with my own eyes. That's why it's very interesting, but at the
yeah.
same time, super challenging.
Yeah, that's a good work. That's a helpful work. You're helping organizations, right? So it feels amazing when you're changing something for the better.
And you see the
Um,
results, and people see the results. Like
yeah,
that's really fun part. It's not like here's the prescription. It's like again, doctor analogy. So you wanted to lose weight, right? You come into the doctor. Doctor can give you a very simple thing, some kind of medicine which you will put in, and you will lose weight that way. Or the doctor will say, here's the diet, here's the training plan.
yeah,
And when you do this, you actually transform. So what is better? Eating tablets or
yeah,
actually do through exercises and the real diet when you will feel good that
yeah,
I did this, naturally
yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
this. You see, it's pretty much the same thing.
I love that. If we connect that back to the quality coach, we could say that it's a naturopathic coach,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah,
a natural medicine, right?
exactly.
Not the
Exactly.
fast acting
No.
pills. It's a
Some kind
long-term
of surgery
effect,
to, make your
right?
stomach, small, right? I mean, that's the difference. That's the real difference.
Yeah, love it. Well, so from your experience, what are some of the biggest quality challenges that the teams face today?
So to be honest with you, you might not hear this from anybody, but the biggest challenge is, in my opinion, is loss of critical thinking. I don't see people using human intelligence, and that's the reason, I came up at such a late stage with this discipline or, methodology that this is what I see lack of human intelligence across the board. People don't ask questions anymore. People want machine to think for them. People don't apply critical thinking. And that's where the big problem is, especially with the testers, right? I mean, everything starts with the requirements. So many issues can be prevented at the requirements phase, which is the cheapest phase, cheapest in a sense, because you can correct those issues. The issues are within the documents. You don't need to change the code. You don't need to fix the code. You don't need to retest the bugs. It's right there in the documents. All you have to solve this, improve the documents, add another acceptance criteria, add another field validation rule or business rule, which you didn't think about it. All of this can be done. So the question is, guys, you had the opportunity to look at the requirements at the different stages through requirements brainstorming sessions, through many different, you had many different chances. Why you stayed quiet? Why you took requirements for granted? Why you never challenged the requirements back? Why you didn't ask, should it be this way or that way? Why you just took it because you didn't have time, because your mind was not there, because you were overworked, you didn't think at the right time, at the right place, and now there is a cascading problems and cascading effect towards quality, which you missed at the right opportunity when you could have prevent all of these issues and problems. So, I mean, just one example on at the requirements gathering phase, but how many of these examples I can give you during building the test cases or design, or actually doing the execution and trying to understand the business rules, trying to think like a user, not like a tester, just to put some dummy data or click the buttons, but really figure out, how this particular application works for the business, what it brings to the business, how this report's capturing the data, for example. We just recently did one application and there was one report which was capturing the data. So I happened to be just, on the call with my guys where they were explaining about the report. And I started asking questions because whatever the report was capturing, it's not enough data, it's not enough detail. So I said, how about this? Why are you not capturing this information? How about that? Don't you think, I mean, if I was a user, I would be looking for this particular data points in the report. And, Scrum Masters, business analysts, product owners were there also on the call discussing, and they're like froze and they start thinking, actually it makes sense. So you see, I mean, when you try to apply and really concentrate, that's what you need to do. Because all these meetings, again, people are busy, people thinking, oh, I have so many tasks to do. They come in those meetings, they're on the phones, they disturb, they're not concentrating. But when you put everything aside and turn on your brain just for this 30 minutes to really apply during these brainstorming sessions, you can achieve a lot. And you can catch a lot of issues and a lot of problems during this time, but that's not happening. And imagine somebody sends you requirements, a user story, and you're sitting in your cubicle and you're just reviewing it. You're not discussing this with anybody. You look at it as a Bible and you agree to this and you say, okay, great. And that's it. You close it. Okay, let's wait when it gets implemented. Guess what? When it gets implemented, you're going to test. Yes, you're going to find defects, but you could have prevented those defects. Why? Because if you would, push back, if you would tell that there is a problem in this requirements, because if we're not going to clarify this, developers will use their imagination and they will implement the way they want it, and it's not how it's supposed to be. So that's what I don't understand. So just back to answer your question, the problem which I see across the board and the big challenge is loss of critical thinking, loss of intelligence, of really thinking critically about certain things. And the second problem is, again, and that's my personal opinion, it's over obsession, over automation. Again, people think that if they automate user stories within the same sprint, they're done. The mission is done. The mission is accomplished. Everything is done. This is not the case, guys. This is not the case. That's over obsession with automation. It really bothers me. Not that I hating the automation. I love automation. I supporting the automation, but I'm supporting smart automation and at the right time. But I'm not supporting automation over human intelligent testing. I'm not supporting that, because human intelligent testing should start first, not the automation should start first. That's the big problem, which I'm trying to debate with a lot of people, or
Yeah,
have
yeah,
this.
it's a great topic. I definitely agree with you that the testers have to understand the business scenarios and not just the requirements, and they have to advocate for customer and be in the customer's shoes and do that as early in the cycle as possible at the requirement stage. And they should be involved with the PM and devs. And this is why I see the tester in the center between the dev, PM, and customer. They should be talking to all of these disciplines and asking those critical questions, like you're saying. But because we never educate testers, right? Like very few testers actually have a tester boot camp or whatever. A lot of us learned on the job. We just like, oh, we have to figure out how to do that. I came to US to work as an SDAT. I did not know what an SDAT is, but then I learned on my job at Microsoft what am I supposed to do, right? So definitely critical thinking is a big part of the testing job, right? And we cannot just ignore it. Even if we're doing automation, we cannot forget about the critical thinking and asking the right questions. I'm totally there with you. Now let's talk about AI. And so how do you think AI is changing all of this space and challenges and creating approaches to testing and quality?
That's the most popular question nowadays, right? Everybody is asking. So I'll tell you a couple stories, but first let me think, or let me give my view on what AI is all about. So, to me, AI is a tool, right? It's a tool. It's not a replacement for human judgment, right? AI should not think for us. We should think for AI. That's the thing. And again, it's all connects back to human intelligence, to critical thinking, right? Because if you just gonna rely on AI and let it be one day, not today, where AI will get more mature, because today it's not, and everybody knows that. And no matter how hard, companies wants to push, and do all of these gimmicks with AI, that it's, magic. It's not a magic yet. Maybe it will be down the road. But at this point of time, it's not truly a magic. They're still far away from magic. But regardless, it will be magic or not, in my opinion, it's got to be human in the loop, no matter what. Somebody got to be there, oversee. It's like management. It's like a leadership layer. You might have multiple AI agents, one AI agent for performance testing, one for automation, one for security penetration testing, another for accessibility, another for functional UI testing, right? And that's great. But you're managing still, you're overseeing, you're making sure results are coming back, and you not necessarily double, triple check every single one, but you spot check. You make sure things are still going the proper way, the right way. You carry responsibility for your AI agent, not just simply blame the AI. So there's a defect leakage. Oh, that's the AI. I have nothing to do with it. No, guess what? You have something to do with it, because you were supposed to monitor this. You were supposed to oversee it. You own this. AI might be responsible somewhat, but you own this. This is like you to blame, not AI to blame. So to be honest with you, I was waiting for AI 27 years, because from the starting of my career, I said tools like WinRunner, which I started with and was coding with C language behind this tool. It was just too complex and too time consuming. I hate it, you know, I hate it. I didn't like it, because I'm looking, what do I look from the tool? I look help and support from the tool. I look for simplicity, right? I don't want to, burn my brain and create this complex coding and spend so much time. The tool needs to simplify the process. So what simplifies the process? When you do heavy lifting, frameworks and maintenance and everything, how does that simplify the process? So I didn't believe in those types of tools all along. 15 years ago, 12 years ago, the new era started of scriptless and codeless automation tools. At that time, the first tool which I get a demo for was Testing Wiz. It was a scriptless automation tool. I take a look, it was a great concept, but there was a lot of limitations. Only certain things you could have automated, but some very complex things you were not able to do it. So there was still a long way to go. Now, 15 years later, at this point of time, I see scriptless and codeless automation tools which are making a difference. They're reliable. They're easy to use. I don't need to hire gurus, expensive gurus, and spend a lot of money. And I don't need to have dependencies on those expensive gurus, because expensive gurus might leave tomorrow. And then what are you going to do? In the case of scriptless and codeless automation tools, there is no gurus. You know why? Because anybody can use them, including college graduates, including QA people who are not technical or call themselves are not technical, or who were afraid to touch the automation tool. Everybody can contribute now. So there is no dependencies on anything, right? It's all about cost of ownership. Somebody thinks if you have Selenium Java and it's free open source tools, then you're spending less money. No, guys, this is a mistake. You know why? Because even though the tool is free, cost of ownership is how much expensive resources cost, the good resources who are really good in doing this, right? How much if somebody leaves and leaves you, treasure of framework with thousands of scripts? How are you going to handle it without that person, right? You need to hire somebody, you need to call help, SOS, right? Now, in scriptless automation tools, anybody can fix it, right? It's much simpler. So now let's go to AI, because codeless, scriptless tools are not AI, even though some of those companies implementing some of the AI capabilities in there, but that's not true AI yet. But AI, I view this future magic. I want this to be future magic. So I want it to be even more easier to create things, but certain things can be relied on when AI will create. Test design automatically. Look, you define the user story, you make the user story fully tested, completely, accurate. Now, if your requirements are accurate, that means you can build more comprehensive test cases and more accurate test cases, right? Manual test cases. So just imagine you upload this into the tool and the test cases started to get generated. And that will be generated, but guess what? Again, there's certain areas, there's business rules, there's certain things which AI will never catch and will never create the test cases for. You still need humans to complete that comprehensive coverage. And that's why it always needs to be controlled by human. Always will be, no matter what. In the future, now it's even more serious. So right now, if somebody will say, because I talk to a lot of CIOs, CTOs, they all ask me, Ruslan, tell me the magic AI tool. We want to use AI tools. And I said, unfortunately, there is no magic right now. There are tools which will give you better head start. So I can rely maybe 40% on test generation, test case generation. But still, I need to fix it, polish up, improve, enhance, and build new scripts. But it might save me some time, yes. But you cannot rely on this. Same goes for the automation script. Oh, can manual test cases be automatically converted into the automation script? Yeah, there are tools. But what that output is, that's not stable output. I mean, certain things, yeah, will be there, but there's a lot of rework, a lot of things which needs to be improved. So where is that magic? And the interesting thing is, some people believe me, my honest opinion, which is really biased. And some people tell me, Ruslan, you don't know. You just don't want to go there to AI. That's why you're claiming that it's not good. John said that they can do it. I said, go to John and you come back to me later on. Go to John, spend some money there. You come back. It's okay. You see, that's the problem. So that's why it's all about, unfortunately, gimmicks. Somebody will overpromise and underdeliver. But sometimes you've been honest and you're not going to win because you're honest,
Yeah.
But that's basically the game out there with AI.
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering this question. Is that will AI replace testers, right? Or like, will the testers gonna disappear because now AI is going to be doing their job?
I'll tell you who will disappear. Who will disappear are testers who have no human intelligence and don't apply critical thinking. Those guys will be disappeared, and
Yeah.
that's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine for
but
them to disappear, actually. I'm
yeah.
not going to blame or
Yeah, but
be.
I agree with you. We will have to manage AI, right? Like, no matter how smart it gets, there still needs to be. I like to think about it as AI is our employee. Like we have to manage it.
It's
We
an
still have to
extension.
check its work, right? Like it's an apprentice that
Mhm.
is helping us to do the work, but we still have to make sure that they're doing the work the right way,
And you have to train them also.
and you
That's
have to train them exactly, right? I love
pretty much
that.
the same thing.
Yeah. And the AI tools, like you're right, they're at their infancy right now, right? Like whatever tools are out there, this is just the beginning. So we have to see how that develops and where it develops. I've seen a few tools, I've seen how useful they are, but we have to prove that they work at the enterprise level and they work and they scale to meet all of our needs.
I
All
mean,
right.
demos are demos. Somebody can impress you with the demo, but when you start using it really in different settings and different situations and contexts, that's really where you can really test the tool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're right. I mean, it's infancy, and again, some companies can achieve better results, some will not, some will lie, some will be truthful. It's for us to determine and judge. And only it can happen by experimenting and really putting this tool into the action. Not just look at the
Yeah.
fancy demo and say, oh, wow, that's the magic, really. Let's
Yeah.
buy it
Yeah.
without trying it, of course.
Yeah. And look, it's innovation, like it's always like that with innovation. It's an adoption phase. We have to see how well it adapts, and then it has to grow and develop in order to meet all of our needs, right? But thank you for all of this, such a great answers, and your sharing your understanding of the quality space and explaining how your company works. So I want to jump into some fun questions at the end of this interview. So what is something that is fun or surprising about your team that most people don't know?
Something fun or surprising? Probably that we don't have politics. We don't play politics. It's a QA mentor. It's a politics-free environment. That's how I wanted to build, and I'm trying to have it this way because I came from environments, very political environments, and I said one day if I'm gonna build a company, that's gonna be the culture. There will be no room for politics. You know, from time to time, some of my guys wants to play politicians and I give them the yellow card. Again, analogy with a soccer game. I give them the yellow card and say, guys, play politics, other companies. Next will be a red card. Out. You know, and then, okay, we got it. This is not the place. And we don't want to play politics internally, or we don't want to play politics with our customers. Now, that's another aspect where we'll say as it is. We're not going to be, you know, politicians. We're not going to be, you know, saying, oh, it depends, maybe, you know. Is it good? Is it bad? We bring good news. We bring bad news. It is what it is. That's who we are. You know? So that's, I don't know if it's a fun thing
No,
for
it's an
me.
interest. Yeah, that's a good surprising thing. I also transparency is one of my values, so I feel like it makes things easier, in working together. So love that. And another fun question is, sorry to put you on the spot. If your company was a character in a movie, what kind of role would it play, or what kind of character would that be?
Interesting. I would say I would play a good cop, police, you know, a good cop, not corrupted cop. Say good things,
Ah,
honest things, you know, be, you know, a real person there, you know, in terms of the police. Keep people honest, all sides, you know, or be that arbitrator, you know. So that's probably
but that also goes well with the quality, right? Because we are
exactly.
kind of police of the quality a lot
Yeah,
of
sort of,
times,
sort of, yeah.
but a good police, right? Like
Good
we're
police.
trying to
Sometimes there's
improve
corrupted
people,
police, you know,
right?
who have hidden agendas and trying to push certain things. But I'm talking about good cops, you know, really
Exactly.
good
I love
cops.
that. I love that analogy with quality, good cops. All right. Well, and the last thing I also want to be thank you to support InnovateQA conference that is happening in Seattle on June 5 and being a partner for us and supporting us. And I wanted to just ask you why do you support the conferences and the QA communities?
Why? I just have so much money that, you know, I have nothing else to spend on, you know. I'm just kidding. The real answer to this is I think Innovate QA have the same mindset as our organization or me personally, because you guys in the mission to elevate QA profession. This is what my mission been for the last 27 years. I want QA profession to shine out there. I want QA professionals out there to learn and get the proper training and be properly trained, you know, without any agendas behind. And that's what you guys are trying to do. Whatever you do, it's fantastic. It's excellent because you join the community together. You know, you giving the opportunities to speak. Who believes in this or believe in that, doesn't matter. You want to hear all the voices. You fair. I like that. Sometimes I debate with you on LinkedIn, right? On some of the questions, but it means nothing. Do you know why we debate? Because we care about this profession, right?
Yep.
We're passionate about this
Yes.
profession. It
Yes.
doesn't mean, you know, I disagree and I don't like you. I like you, right? But I just have different opinion, a different view, or my view is because I actually did that and it worked. Maybe you did what you said and it's also worked. Then you do what you do, your strategy, and I do what I do, my strategy. And if it works in your context and works in my context, that's great. But I don't like when people say, well, what you do is wrong, but what I do is correct, right? And you have to do what I do. That's what I don't like. But you guys don't do that. That's why I respect that, and I like that, and will continue supporting, these types of, organizations, and wishing you guys a lot of success there. And, we personally, my company, I, see a lot of good stuff happening, and the more the better will be, and the more you join people together with, all of these conferences, all of this, meetings, meetups, across the board, that makes us stronger. That makes our community stronger. That makes our movement to elevate QA stronger. And that's why I will always support companies like you.
Thank you. Thank you. That is such a great perspective, right? We love this discipline so much, right? We wanted to grow, we wanted to develop, we want to do it right for the organizations. And in order to do that, we have to come together and talk to each other and disagree and find a way forward and define the future of quality together, right?
Exactly.
So, and this is another reason to do this interview, to share our views and how we want to move this discipline forward. So thank you so much. And thank you to QA Mentor for supporting us and for investing in a quality discipline and moving it forward. And thank you to you personally for so much passion about it. I really
We
appreciate
are partners,
it.
life partners. So let's do it. Let's improve this, right? Together we're
Yep.
stronger, right?
Thank you, Ruslan.
Thank you very much, Tatyana. Nice chatting with you. All the best.